Okay, it's coming to you.
All right.
I see Reverend Outlaw in the house.
Hi, Bishop.
Hi. Oh, I'm prepared to have some fun tonight.
I know it.
I came running in the house at the last minute because I had to go across town out to Reston. And I said, I was laughing. And I said, I'm so glad I actually know this subject. Yes.
Bless you.
Okay, welcome everybody to Rainey Speaks. I'm Rainey Cheeks, and I am so glad that you have joined me again tonight. We have taken the last few weeks to begin to study the 7 sacraments within the church. However, the 7 sacraments are in all religions, and it has absolutely nothing to do with, as you will see, whether you are Baptist or Catholic or Presbyterian or Yoruba or Khan, the 7 sacraments of life is in every stage. And before I forget, because I'm also connecting the gemstones to each chakra and to each sacrament. Now, if you notice, there's 7 sacraments, there's 7 chakras in the body, there's 7 major colors. They all link together, okay? Before I get into the lessons tonight, going to remind everybody, please take your cell phone throughout the week. Anybody that just come to mind, give them a call. I try to call everybody on my list. The highest level of depression and suicide is between Thanksgiving and Easter. 2 reasons. One, there's less sunlight. So one of the ways to help yourself with that is to put bright colors around you, and or you go to the store and what you want to look for are full spectrum lights. Sometimes they call them happy lamps. And if you notice that a plant light is different from a regular light, because those are full spectrum lights. However, there are full spectrum light bulbs. One of the lights that's really not good for people are fluorescent lights. If you notice, when a fluorescent light is getting ready to go bad, it flickers. Well, that flickering is there all the time. It's just at a higher speed that you don't see it. And they have done experiment after experiment of putting full spectrum lights in classrooms, and the kids are hyper. The moment they take those lights out and put full spectrum lights in, the kids are calm. And they have done that over and over and over. Hello, Pearl, glad you're back in the house tonight, yay. So you can help yourself by getting full spectrum lights. You can use things like color paper and just put it in front of you if you're reading or studying. I have blankets that are different colors, and sometimes I pull them out because I need the energy just to be in my face. I purposely painted my walls where I'm at this color blue and this color blue to keep things around here, gotta stay calm. But that is just a way of helping yourself. And what I believe in, I call practical spirituality. How do I take all the things that I learn about chakras and colors and sound and use it in my everyday life? Then that's anything, any lesson that I teach, hear me, if I have not used it, I don't teach it. Everything that I teach, I test it. I did an experiment, and you might try this sometimes. There's a workshop that I do on the power of your words.
Yep.
And during the workshop, I will say to one person, listen to my language and watch what happens in the group. So somewhere in the conversation, I'll say something like, oh, damn. And then it'll keep going, I'll go, oh, shit. And before I could do it 3 times, all of a sudden, other people start using words. And I just look at the person, and every time they go, what just happened? And before it can get too far, I just go, stop. Everybody stop talking. Tell them what you just saw. Because all I did was change the frequency in the room. Remember this, Everything is a vibration. If it's vibrating, it has a frequency. And what we do when we pray or meditate or any form of consciousness, you're tuning into a certain frequency that everybody at that frequency is now what you're linked into. So when you bring in that lower frequency, it is so, all of that low energy is there and it's like this. So it's easy to catch into it. The key is how do you raise your frequency? Not that you have to think about it, but it's just naturally your frequency. See, we all have moments of enlightenment. The difference between what Jesus did or any great master is that they obtained the frequency and they stayed there. Jesus was not born to Christ. He was not always at that frequency, because when brother got mad and got hungry, he cussed out a fig tree and killed it. Anybody know the Bible? You know that story. And they came back and said, "Oh, master, look what you did to the tree." And he was like, "Oops." You know? So imagine if he had said to one of them, "Drop dead." So he had to learn the power of his own words. And all the great masters must learn the power of their own words, all of us. Because when we tune, the sharper, the more you know, and when you tune into that frequency, the more powerful it is. All right, let me get on to what tonight's lesson is supposed to be about, because y'all didn't stop me at all.
It's all good, that's why.
And I will say this to all of those who are consciously on the road of higher consciousness. The more you know, the more you're responsible for.
Right.
And the more you learn, there will come events that will test you to find out, is this really part of you, or is this just something that you read and you intellectually got a glimpse of it? And they're what I call gatekeepers, who are at every door to test you, to find out, are you able to come to the next level? Otherwise, it's like giving a baby a razor instead of the butter knife.
Woo.
And so the masters are gatekeepers that test you, and they will send people your way to find out, will you get mad and cuss them out? Do you still have control over your words in the situation? Are you being judgmental because you can't use that energy at the higher level? And guess what? Those that work in dark magic have no need for you if you're not powerful. And I'll leave that right there. Okay. I'm working from my own book tonight. Oh, okay, because we did baptism, communion. We did confirmation. And so now we're into marriage. We usually look at marriage as a union between two people. But I'm going to suggest to you that the first marriage has to be with yourself. Let me see, what did I say? Before you can commit to another person, you must commit to yourself. The same is true about love. Before you can love another person, you must love yourself. You cannot give away what you don't have. And I say this to everybody that come to me for marriage counseling, that are falling in love with somebody. The first thing I ask them is, give me examples how you demonstrate loving yourself. Because you can't give away what you don't have. Before you buy somebody else flowers, did you buy them for yourself? Before you want to make sure that they ate. You know, it's like when you're on a plane, it says, when the oxygen mask drop, put yours on first. As much as you may love your child, you're no good to your child if you pass out. So put yours on first. So before we start talking about that kind of deep level, it's like, how do you demonstrate love to yourself? When you fully love who you are, then the light of the soul, hear me, when you fully love yourself, then the light of the soul will shine through, and there will be, and you will understand your purpose in life. When I can get rid of self-guilt, self-judgment, self-pity, not feeling worthy, that's all a part of falling in love with yourself. Now, I give exercises on the art of loving yourself. How about looking, my screensaver says, I love myself because I'm worth it. And when I first grabbed hold of that statement, I took it, I put it on, it was literally on a card at my door. So it was the last thing I would read leaving the house. And it'd be the first thing I see when I came home. And then what do you do to prove to yourself that you love yourself? When people ask you something and you say no, do you take time to explain your no? No is the equal opposite of yes. If you don't explain your yes, don't explain your no. That's a part of loving yourself. Before you take me to dinner, did you take yourself to dinner? I still do this. I will go to a restaurant and I'll say 2. And they say, do you want to wait for the other partner? I go, no, I'm good. Because I'm actually taking God to dinner. And then I'll tell them, you know what, that person canceled, I'll just go ahead and order. And I go, God, I know they can't see you, but it's between us. And I literally sit there and have dinner with God or the angels or whoever I wanted, the ancestors, by myself. Okay, let me keep going. Oops. To have a healthy relationship, I always say that's why God gave us 2 hands. One is to give and one is to receive. Most of us are more comfortable with giving than we are with receiving. Somebody, listen to your language when somebody give you something. Oh, you didn't have to do that. No. The only word you should say is thank you. And then see how saying thank you feel. When people used to give me gifts and I would say, oh, babe, you didn't have to do that. And one person told me, don't take this the wrong way, but can you shut up? And I was like, ooh, you know? And what I was realizing was that I was blocking his blessing. So if everybody is giving, well, who's receiving? So when things are coming to you, simply say thank you. Because that you're keeping the energy flow of giving and receiving. And that is an act of love. Now, I will say that there are 3 stages of loving, and the 3 stages, actually 4, because we usually think of love as the heart center. Hang in there with me. I'm gonna throw a curve at you. But the first demonstration of love is connected to the first chakra. Remember I said that the first chakra is tribal energy? Well, the first acts of love that you see are tribal. That's in your family. That's Yeah, that's in your family. That's in any group that you're in. That's tribal love. And then in that tribal love, you begin to learn and you watch how do family treat each other. Now, I'm going to show you know this as a demonstration of tribal love. There's one call that police hate to go to. Domestic stuff, right? They rather go to a bank robbery because in domestic violence stuff, families will be fighting each other, and the moment somebody come in, all of them will unite and go after that. That's tribal energy. That's tribal love. How many of you have heard this expression? Yeah, I talk about my family, but you can't.
Right.
You know, I can call them a son of a, I can call them, I can, but you can't. Okay, that's
Yeah.
tribal energy.
Right.
First chakra energy.
Okay.
Second stage of love, second chakra, is when it moves outside of the birth family and the tribal energy to expressing outside of yourself towards another person. That's second chakra energy. Now, I'm going to expand it, not just to another person, but when you begin to love your clothes, your favorite song, all of that is second chakra. Anything external is second chakra energy. Remember what second chakra is. Creative force. Okay? So when you start loving things outside of yourself, that's second chakra energy. Let me see if I can try to read some notes.
What's the name of your book?
Oh, Reclaiming Your Divine Birthright. And I have to say that I am reading some notes that's not in the book, but I'm trying to read my own handwriting. Oh, let me clarify something. Second chakra energy is when we bond with friends and right. And third chakra energy is external things. That's physical things. Okay. So second chakra is when we bond with friendships and bond with others. And that's second chakra energy. Third chakra energy is when we turn our energy to physical things. That's material needs, fashion, dating, all of the external needs get met in third chakra energy. So we see that love go in stages because that young kid, although their first love, think about it, your first love was mama and daddy. Your first love was uncles and aunts and cousins and brothers and sisters, because that's what you're around. That's the bonding. And then the next thing is, oh, I have a good friend. Now that's a bonding. And, how many of us, with me, I grew up in a neighborhood that sometimes I had to figure out who my mama was because all the women in the neighborhood were my mama. If you grew up like me, your neighbor could get a beating from your neighbor. And you could get a beating, then you got home and got another one. I remember one time at a friend's house and his mother said, get ready for dinner. Well, I was going up to try to say good night or good evening. And she said, boy, what are you doing up here? I told you wash your hands. So I went to wash my hands, but every time I tried to tell her I don't live here, she said, if you don't sit down at this table. So I sat down at the table and I finally raised my hand. She said, what? I said, Miss Lewis, I don't live here. She said, what? I said, I don't live here. I'm not your child. I said, I'm Miss Cheek's son. She said, you're at the table now, go on and eat. And then when I got home, my mother said, boy, where have you been? And I went, Miss Lewis wouldn't let me leave. I had to eat. She said, did you eat at that house? Yes, ma'am, but I couldn't leave because she thought it was rude. But that's second chakra energy, you know, extended family. So then you get the third chakra energy. That's again, when you get attracted to things. You know, my favorite shirt, my clothes, I love fashion, I love music, that's beginning to, you're extending outside of the bonds of just neighbors and friends. Now we get to fourth chakra energy. Fourth chakra energy. Fourth chakra energy, hear me, is when you develop the courage and the strength to listen to your own heart. How many of us have found ourselves in odd situations or bad situations because you didn't listen to your own heart? Even when your own heart says, forgive them, but you get in the attitude, I'm not. And your heart says, but that's what I need. But no. Taking care of your own needs, let go of that. Well, it's not that bad. Let go of that. For me to be whole and healed, let go of that. No, you know, that person's not that bad. And every time they come around, you try to justify why they're there. Remember this, the higher you go up, the less people can come. Remember that triangle, that pyramid. At the base, it's wide, but the higher you go up, more things got to shed from you. And sometimes it feels painful because you think, because you're growing, everybody else around you is growing, and no. And here's something else. I tell people all the time, if I want to know who you are, I look at who's your closest friends. If you really want to look at Jesus, study his 12 disciples. If you study his 12 disciples, look at their names, look up the meaning of their names and the quality of the name. And that means those are the qualities that Jesus needed to express himself through. If I want to know who you are, I look at your closest friends. And when people go, I don't have no close friends, that's a lie. Because if you got in trouble, tell me who you would call first. If I said throw a party, who would you call first? If you said I want to get married, who would you invite? So when I look at your closest friends, those are all expressions of you. And those are the qualities that you need to express yourself at any given time. Trust me, I had to look at a few of my friends and go, is that how I show up? Listen, I'm going to also say, because I know some people are also on YouTube, if you have any questions along the way, please don't hold it, ask the question, because I may not remember it when you, as we go along, just ask the question. Or even if you have a comment about something. Fourth chakra energy. Ooh, I lost my page. Now, hear me. Healing and forgiveness is connected to fourth chakra, to your heart, to your fourth chakra energy. We must be to grow and to free yourself. You must be willing to forgive yourself. For even now, this sounds a little strange. I forgive myself for hating you.
Yeah.
Maybe the person came along is a wounded person, and that's where they were acting out of. But now I hate you, but I'm supposed to be the healer or the minister or the evolved person. Now I'm acting just like you. So healing is connected to forgiveness. And the Lord's Prayer says, literally says, Lord, forgive me at the same level in which I forgive everybody else. So if that one person, I can't forgive him, you don't know what he did, you don't know what she did to me, that's what you're saying. God, I can't even forgive you because you know what they did and you didn't do anything. Oops, let me move on. So when we get to fourth chakra energy, it must turn back inward. Remember, see, if you look at the first ones, they all begin to be outward expressions. When you get to the fourth chakra, it turns back inward. Now, how do I demonstrate that I love myself? Do I get enough rest? Or do I need to stay up and try to show everybody how much I suffered through praying through the night? Do I take care of myself and eat well and do the things that I need to make sure that my body and my temple is okay? Do I allow people to treat me well? Yes. Do I allow people to treat me well? And here's the thing, when we don't forgive people, when I go to the bottom line of why people don't forgive, because they want the other person hurt. But that's like drinking poison and hoping the other person die. I'm gonna kill you. Which the healing comes when you can let go of the hurt and let go. And remember, there's a difference between pain and hurt. Pain is physical. Hurt is remembering what hurt, what the pain was. If I cut myself, that's pain. If I slam my finger, that's pain. That's physical. Hurt is emotional. And I remember it. I remember what you did to me, and I can't let go of what you did to me. And so the only way to let go of the hurt is through forgiveness. I forgive myself for holding on to this. I forgive myself for judging you in such a way. I forgive myself because I should have removed myself from the situation. Let me tell you, when I was in the early days of doing HIV work, one of the things that I did with people, if they felt like they were going to get put out, I said, do you love yourself enough to leave? Even your family. And so what we had to work on is that they would love themselves enough, even if it meant find a room or move in with somebody. But the only way you were going to heal is that you could not and that hate the other person that looked at you, but through the act of loving yourself, you could heal.
Mhm.
And that's with any illness. And any illness. And let me put a caveat on that, because it's not about whether you live or die. Because I work with people with terminal illness, many with cancer or lupus or HIV, whatever it is. I just put it all in the same category. Sometimes healing is being able to free yourself so that you can leave this planet. I had a young man who was 28 years old. He was in hospice, and he called me and he said, "Can you come?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Thank you for teaching me how to die."
Mm.
He had taken a grief class with me. And in my grief class, I always start off with how you live is how you die. If you live in fear, you die in fear. If you live boldly, you die boldly. He said, "I've lived boldly, and I can look death straight in the face and say, 'Come here.'" He said, "I am not afraid of this at all, and I have no regrets."
Mm.
28 years old.
Wow.
And he said, "I have a few things on my list." And I said, "Okay, what are they?" He wanted some Chunky Monkey ice cream. He said, "You remember how because I tell people, do all of your unfinished business." And he said, "I want Chunky Monkey ice cream." So I got him some Chunky Monkey ice cream. And I loved it because the nurse came in the room and saw him eating ice cream. And she said, "You know you're not supposed to be eating ice cream." He said, "What is it going to do? Kill me?" And he ate the ice cream. And when I looked at him, I just got the trash can and he threw it up. He was like, "Damn, that was good." He had a couple of people he needed to say some things to. So we called them and they came. This was, this is awake. This is traditionally awake, while the person is still awake. Because most of the time what we call awake is a viewing. The person is not awake. So while you're still awake, you take care of all unfinished business. But he did that, and at the end, he looked at me, he said, "Can I get the mirror?" I said, "Sure." And I knew exactly what he was going to do. He looked in the mirror, and this is part of an exercise on loving yourself. To look in the mirror and simply look at your face and say, and I would say my name like Rainey, "I love you." Nothing else behind it. Not if I wash my face, brush my teeth, comb my hair, none of that. Not if I lose weight, gain weight, none of that. And the deeper part of that is to get a full-length mirror while you are butt naked and stand in the mirror and go, "Rainey, I love you." Not, "Ooh, that scar, no, I love you just as you are." Because anything you don't love, you try to get rid of. And I'm not trying to get rid of me. And anybody that want me have to take me just as I am. I love me. So you look in the full-length mirror, and I did this exercise one time. I did prison ministry. And I would tell them, look in the mirror and simply say, "I love you." And just see how that feels in your body. And believe it or not, I have people that come to me and say, it feels weird. I said, I have to back them up to, "I like you." Literally, some people have to start in the mirror with go, "I like you," because they don't love themselves. And then move to, "I love you." And maybe first in the full-length mirror with all your clothes on, or keep your shirt on. Some people like, "But I got a gut." Like, you don't know it? "I got a scar." Like, you don't know it? When you can free yourself of all the judgment, then the unconditional love comes in. That is full fourth chakra energy.
Oof. Amazing. Awesome.
Now we go, once we begin to heal the wounded person, and this also, if you're familiar with the wounded child, this is part of the healing of the wounded child. All of us have that little child inside of us. And the little child, I'll use me as an example. Most of you know that you call me Rainey, but my first name is Albert. Rainey is the playful one. That's a nickname. My name is Rainier. Rainey is the playful one. But Rainey also went through trauma. When Albert show up, Albert doesn't have a sense of humor. Albert is the martial artist. Albert is the fighter. Albert is the protector. And if you mess with Rainey, Albert will show up. But Albert had to get to the place to say to Rainey, you're okay, I got you. You can play all you want.
I like that.
Makes, you got it? So all of us have that inner child that went through craziness. And so so think of your power name and your playful name. Who's the little kid called? So I consciously switch, but when I need them. When I need Albert, I know how to call him immediately. And sometimes he show up even before I call him. But Albert, even the name means bright or brilliant. Rainier means princely. If my mother wanted to stop me in my tracks, all she had to do was call me by one of those names. If she said Albert, that meant you're not being very bright or brilliant at the moment. And if she called me Rainier, it meant be princely. You're acting silly, be princely. So your name have power. So this is all fourth chakra energy.
Wow.
Healing is connected to fourth chakra. Think of anybody that you struggle with forgiving. I'm working with somebody now, but I'm trying to get across to them that his mother did the best she could with what she had. No, you didn't have abundance of stuff. I said, but did you go to college? He said, yes. I said, who sent you? He said, well, I got my own scholarships. I said, that's a lie. I said, did she feed you? Well, yeah. She put clothes on your back? Yeah. Did she make sure that you had a safe place to sleep? Yeah. Well, no, you couldn't go to college if none of that was there. Give your mama credit for what she did. I had a friend, and he didn't find out until he was in high school that his mother would take his paper and look at it when he did his homework, and she said, are you sure? And she would give it back to him and said, look at it again. Come to find out later that his mother couldn't read. But she was wise enough to take the paper and look at it and say, ask him a simple question. Are you sure this is your best? So what I'm trying to get this young person to understand, your mother did the best she could with what she had. Your father did the best he could with what he had. Stop trying to hold them to the standards of today. Fourth chakra, love energy. So I'm giving you this. Do something every day to yourself, for yourself, by yourself, to say to yourself, I love me. I'll say it again. Do something every day to yourself, for yourself, by yourself, to say to yourself, I love me. When we get to that place, then our hearts blossom, our hearts open up, and we then are ready to marry first ourselves. That when you can go, I like who I am. Matter of fact, I love who I am. Here's a piece that I did when I was in prison ministry. Every day I would bring a paper cup and a crystal glass, and I never said what it was for. So one day, this was about maybe 5 or 6 weeks later, this one guy said, Rev, I got a question. I said, what's the question? What the hell is the cup and the glass for? I said, this is week 5 and you're just asking. I said, both of these will hold water. But if you don't understand the value of the crystal glass, you will always settle for a paper cup.
That
Wow.
was good. That was good.
Yes,
was a good-
indeed.
I said, what you're demonstrating to me is that you have settled for a paper cup every time. I said, but see, ask anybody for a paper cup and they'll give it to you. Ask the same person for a crystal glass and they look at you and go, what? I said, see this crystal glass that I bring in here? This crystal glass costs $20 some. This paper cup costs 2 cents. In my cabinet, there's all glass, and I usually keep a paper cup there. And what is interesting is this. When people would come over and say, can I get some water or juice? I say, yeah, just get a glass. And they would pick the paper cup and I go, out of all the damn glasses in there, why did you pick up that paper cup? Well, you know, I didn't want to dirty up one of your glasses. Honey, when I come over your house, you see what I grabbed, don't you? I look in your cabinet and I grabbed a glass. Now, I may not grab your crystal, but I'm drinking out of a glass. And you didn't even have enough for you to grab a jelly jar. You must love yourself enough that you treat you well. Remember this, we teach people how to treat us.
Yeah.
And so if I can't forgive, guess what you're teaching? That you're unforgivable.
Mm.
All of this is connected again to marriage. So now when I fall in love with myself, I can heal me. I can make sure that my little child inside of me, the playful one, is okay. I feel good of who I am. Now I can present myself to you for marriage. Because I'm going to attract to me
Yeah.
the person that is at my level. Remember, energy seeks its own level. So if I'm wounded, no, just check yourself. How judgmental are you when you look at people? I don't know why she got that on. Maybe that's the best she got.
Yeah.
You know, I met this guy who somebody talked about pride and he just looked at him. He said, you have no idea what pride is. This man came from the street and he had 2 shirts and he would wash one out and wear the other one until he got a job and he walked to work. Was never late. He said, that's pride. Everybody got quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So take the time to look at all 3 stages, 4 stages. First is tribal energy. Do I love my family? Now, and understand, we all got a family member that make us go, why? We all got that one family member, you know. Oh, really? How did you sneak in? However, your first example of love was in family. Second example of love is when you connected to friends, neighbors. Third chakra energy is when you start expressing outside of yourself, that you begin to love things, you know, music or clothes or whatever. And then fourth chakra energy, when it turns back inside of you and you commit acts of loving yourself. I'm going to make sure I get enough sleep. I choose to create time to meditate and pray. I do something, remember, every day. This is an exercise that I give in one of my workshops, to do something every day for a month, to consciously say, I love me. And when you do that act, you have to consciously be calling it out. Today, I'm doing this as an act of loving myself. I'm taking me to lunch. Today, I'm buying me one flower to rose. Today, I'm walking in the park just to get some fresh air. See, it don't have to be great things, but just that conscious thing to say, I'm taking 15 minutes for me. Today, nope, I'm not dealing with no drama. Nope, nope, this is my love me day. Do something every day to yourself, for yourself, by yourself, to say to yourself, I love me. Work on forgiveness. Forgiveness is never about the other person. It is always about you, so that you can heal. Check in with your inner child. Does your inner child feel safe? And will your inner child come out and play? There are other exercises. I'm not going to go into that. I'm trying to stay on course. And then that is fourth chakra energy, because anytime somebody say, I'm looking for a partner, these are the things I kind of ask. Have you done this? Are you looking at this? How are you showing up in the world? Then you're ready for marriage. So you see, marriage is much deeper than just me falling in love with another person. When I look at, before I forget, the stones that go with fourth chakra: rose quartz, green tourmaline, emerald green, jade. Those are some of the stones that go with fourth chakra love energy. So now are you beginning to make the connection between the chakras and the sacraments and the stones? I begin to blend them all together.
Yeah.
So if you look at each thing that I've been giving you on the 7 sacraments, just go back and look at each chakra work that I did, if you're taking that class with me, and you will begin to see how the chakras and the sacraments all link together. Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Stones for other chakras. I'll give them one more time. The first chakra is red jasper, smoky quartz, black star, sapphire, red jade. Second chakra, amber.
Can you repeat that? You're going a little fast.
Okay. First chakra, red jasper, garnet, smoky quartz, sapphire, red jade. Second chakra, You with me? Amber. I'm going to mess this name up, but I'll spell it. Carnelian.
Cornelian?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Third, is that second? First, second, third is Tiger's Eye, Topaz, Citrine. And now we're at fourth chakra. The stones are rose quartz, green tourmaline, emerald green, jade.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you.
And I will say this, if you're working with any healing, it is fourth chakra energy. Anytime I work with people who are terminally ill or sick, there's a lot of work that has to be done in the fourth chakra. If you want to do healing work or you're going through a healing phase, wear the green color.
Okay.
Bathe yourself in green. Because an empty heart creates illness.
When you say an empty heart, what do you mean by that?
If you're not worked on, if you're still holding on to anger, you're still holding on unforgiveness, that is an empty heart.
Mm-hmm.
You're still
Okay.
holding on to anger. So we must do the work that we can let go of those things. And guess what? A lot of it is connected to our tribal energy, because those are the battles we have in the family, mother, father, brothers and sisters, children, all of that energy. Got a different view of marriage tonight, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I
Ain't-
love it.
Ain't rushing to get married. No, I'm just joking.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
that's why we need to do our homework.
Man.
Like, who are you?
Mhm.
I tell people, when you meet somebody and you think they're the one, I tell people, I don't even perform a marriage ceremony unless you've been together for at least a year. People act different in the summertime than they do in the wintertime.
Say
You
that.
meet somebody in the winter, baby, they all snuggled up. Ooh, baby, baby. The weather changed and they start going, get off me. By the time it's hot, they're out all times of night. You're going, what happened to the cuddling? It's summer. I need to know what you're like when you're angry.
Yeah.
I need to know how you deal when sorrow hit.
Mm.
So I need you to go through the whole year so that I can see. I need to meet your friends. No, you don't need to meet my friends. Yes, I do. Because they're a reflection of you.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
And for
boy.
those who are priests and ministers, then that means the same thing that you do, you have to date your deities.
Mhm.
Mm.
You have
Okay.
to date the angels.
Mhm.
Don't tell me you're going to call Archangel Michael and you've never dated him. So how you know what he's like? So when one of them say yes, how do you know it's him?
Mm.
I know my digits because I know their voice. How do I know their voice? Just like I know your voice. I got to meet you and spend some time with you. So nobody can call and say, I'm Kevin, because I know Kevin's voice.
Right.
See, nobody can tell me that was Pearl. No, I know Pearl's voice. And I know your attributes.
Mm.
Fourth chakra energy is also when you have totally surrendered.
Mm.
Remember this. The fourth chakra is the mantra would be, I am love. Why? Because you were made from love.
Mm.
The God force is a loving force.
Mhm.
I am love. Why? Because I was made from love. That's why my book is Reclaiming Your Divine Birthright. Your divine birthright is to live in love. Your divine birthright is that I live abundantly. My divine birthright is I'm whole and healed, nothing missing, nothing broken. My divine birthright, I reclaim all that is mine.
Mm.
Can you repeat that again, please?
That just came out of me. What did I just say?
I know. I'll
He
look
said,
at the
I claim
recording.
all that is mine.
Right. My fourth chakra energy, my love. I love myself so I can accept me. I forgive me and I forgive myself for hating you. This is all fourth chakra energy.
Whew. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
What happened up in here right now?
You know, I told myself I was stopping 15 minutes ago.
I said
But
you got possessed again tonight. That's what happened.
This is the work of fourth chakra.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Amazing. It's powerful.
Yeah.
But remember, if you build it in stages, look at that, go back and look at the first chakra energy. Look at second chakra energy and the sacraments that go with them. Remember I talked about the 3 different baptisms,
Right.
2 by water, 1 by fire.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was baptized when he was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was baptized when he was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was baptized by fire.
Fire. The temptation. Mm.
Water, we must learn to baptize by water means we must learn to control our emotions. It's one level to control it and do purification when you are a child. Then why did he get baptized again? Because he was an adult and he was ready to take on adult responsibilities. And water is an act of purification. Fire is a different type of purification. Fire burns through everything and only the truth ends up standing. Fire is unforgiving. Water can be gentle. Water is feminine energy. It can be gentle. Fire energy is masculine energy. It's not gentle. It burns everything it touches. But if you are in a pure consciousness, then the spirit of the Holy Ghost fire comes upon you and you don't get consumed. So when I look at the sacraments as I go through them, I see how they apply in my life. And so next week, we go to the next sacrament, And the next sacrament is confession. And we'll take a nice long look at that. Again, not what you think it is. When we look at the metaphysical meanings, you see it goes much deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say this to you. Remember, everything that I'm telling you have 7 layers in it. That makes sense?
Yes.
7 is the number of completion. So you must go through each one of these down to 7 layers. I am so looking forward to this fall because I plan to teach at the school, and this is just the opening of the door.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
Bishop.
joining me again on Thursday nights. And I will also just put before you, as we are in the middle of this, if there is a subject that you would like for me to talk about. Did I give you the stones for this one? I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If there is a subject that you would like for me to speak on, you can either put it in the chat or you can email me, Bishop Cheeks, or at I am Bishop Cheeks. No, I am Rainey Speaks. Or
You
or
mean
Bishop
Rainey
Cheeks.
Speaks?
Huh?
You said I am Rainey Speaks or Rainey Speaks?
I am Rainey Speaks. That's my email address for this.
At gmail.com.
Yes, at gmail.com. Thank you. Or you can, yeah, that's the one you can get me at if you want me to talk on here. And I'm excited about doing this and sharing this with you. I thank you for coming and be crazy enough to spend an hour with me. And yeah, anybody want to share anything before we go? Okay. Well, Pearl, pray us out.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Okay. Blessed Father, Mother, God, Holy Spirit, and all the divine that walk with us, all the divine that walk with Bishop Cheeks. Thank you for the blessings that he brings to us and the healing and the information that helps us to be better in our lives. We thank you for this gathering of souls and spirits. And we just ask you to keep us growing and glowing and learning so that we can be better in our lives. Ashe.
Ashe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know, this is also on YouTube. If you want to look back at anything, go to YouTube on Rainey Speaks, and you should see this symbol that's on the screen now. And a lot of it is still there. I thank to everybody that donate to this and keep me going. And I plan to do many more lessons in this. So I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And again, I just greatly appreciate you coming to join me. I'm excited about something. I'm going to just tell it anyway. I'm going way ahead of myself, but I'm in the middle of writing a play, and it is coming along well. It's based on the 7 last sayings of Jesus before he went to the cross, and I'm looking at it's all beginning to just come together. So I'm massaging my face to keep the smile off my face. But I'm excited about doing this.
God bless you.
Thank you, thank you,
God
thank
bless
you.
your work.
I thank you. And listen, when you see this, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, if you like and share, I appreciate it. It helps spread the word. You can invite anybody you wish on any Thursday night to come and join. And I thank you again for being here with me and hanging in there with all. I love this because we're growing together.
Mhm.
We're
Yes.
growing together because some of this is just coming out of me as I'm doing it. You know, I love it. Well, I'm going to say good night to all and thank you for joining me one more time.
God bless
Good
you.
night. Thank you.
Night. Bless
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Bless everyone.
Night.
Thank you.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye. Oof.
I'm trying desperately to be understood. If I see a little shine, it's from all the times that I hit my heart in the dark, like in all the storybooks. The white knight came to the little girl alone. You don't try.